even though, and I want to go back to you guys on the NBA, what you've been noticing. We talked about last week, before everybody kind of talked about it, about the scoring that increase in the NBA. But also, there are really no, even though you have Boston and Denver leading in the Eastern and Western Conference, there are really no dominant teams in the NBA where they're just kind of running away with their record at this particular point, which really kind of surprises me. It's like it's more parity in the NBA. What do you think about that, Black?
Well, I'm not sure if it's parity or is that guys take nights off, bro.
Wow.
I kind of will lean more towards that because I think sometimes, if you're playing on network television, you get up for it, you do some things, everybody's watching. You playing a team that, for the most part, you think you should beat, you go in, you don't put them away. You kind of go in and kind of a little last days going. I think that's the mentality with a lot of these teams now. It's like I got my guaranteed money. I'm basically set. I'm not playing for a contract. Am I going to go out and give every game 100%? Probably not. So I don't know if it's parity, man, because you look at some of the same teams that were bad, they're still bad, bro. I mean, it's not like a lot of teams that got better. And even look at Memphis. Memphis basically, you can't tell me one night Memphis come out and they're looking like they can basically beat anybody. And then you got their guard basically wants to take over and be a highlight reel. So it's too much of a branding thing, I would say, to a lot of these teams that could be better if they got serious about it and allow themselves to be coached. That's the key point. A lot of these players, man, step in now and they make this type of money. They don't want to be coached anymore. Just give me the ball, let me run out there and do what I want to do. So therefore, you have the ups and the downs and that type of flow. That's not parity, man. A lot of it's lack of immaturity and basically that hunger. That's it.
I'm looking at, I'm used to teams like in the Eastern and Western Conference where you have a team that's just taking off and, or at least 5 to 6 to 7 games in first place. But every week we come back on the show, one team is on top, then they go back to second or third, and then you have another team in the West and in the East. What are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, I think particularly in the East, that's the case because you have injuries, you have people like Milwaukee missing Middleton. Middleton is just a glue, part of the glue that makes them even better, which means you allow the Greek Freak to just go nuts because Middleton's there. But when Middleton's not there, Greek Freak is like, I got to start doing some other stuff because they really don't have that extra oomph there. Brooklyn hurt now with Durant, also Philadelphia. So it's a lot of back and forth. And then in the West with Denver, it's like, to me, they're like in first place because nobody else wants it. You know what I mean? It's like you waiting for somebody else to make a move. Memphis, young guys chatting and chirping as we've been hearing, but they don't want it. New Orleans now without the big fella, Zion Williamson. Dallas, every night we go watch Luka try to score 99 points. And then that's all they got. And then that's it. I told you playing like old Denver back in the day. And Sacramento is making moves with Mike Brown. That's good. And other than that, it's just kind of wide open. I will say this, though. I know OKC, there are a lot of people were talking about them that they were trying to tank and so they can get all these draft picks. They're starting to get a few decent players. So the question is, what are they going to do as they move forward? Because, the big fella that they drafted out of Gonzaga is not stepped on the floor this year. He's hurt. Will come back next year. But secretly down there, they've been wanting a star for a long time, somebody that can really play. And you got him now. So the question is, what are you going to do next year? Are you going to mess this up and just blow it up and just try to get brand new again because you got a big fella coming in? But nobody's noticing. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 30 points a game for OKC.
Yeah.
He is balling. This is the same that kid that came from, they had him from out on the West Coast and they got rid of him because of the fact that they wanted to bring in all the new players and whatnot too. But he's averaging 30 points a game. They're not really playoff ready or contending, but they also got some other guys. Everybody remember about the point guard last year too from Josh Giddey. He's playing good basketball. They have an opportunity, if they're patient, to make some moves next year, bringing the big fella in. don't blow this and talk about, well, we're gonna make some trades and get rid of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander for draft picks. You done had 29 draft picks, bro, over the last, like Boston, and you ain't done nothing with them. Don't mess this up, bro. Please, I'm telling you, be smart about this. You don't need more draft picks. You're working on something. You're working on something. Stay the course and be patient.
Yeah, I think when Holmgren comes back next year and with Gilchrist, that's going to be a really potent combination. And watching them, I think they just need a couple of veterans to help them kind of stabilize what they have and learn how to play together. And they're going to be a team that's going to be, beating on the door in the West. Questions from the squad. I'm going to go with Ice first. What's your question, sir?
So the NFL draft is coming up. The Chicago Bears had the number 1 pick. Now, around the country, I don't know what they're doing in Chicago. There have been some people that had the audacity to say they should trade Justin Fields so they can pick Bryce Young out of Alabama. My question is, what say y'all?
Black?
Well, we got to keep in mind, this is the franchise that traded up to get Trubisky. We was on air when they did that, bro. So I don't put it past them. I don't think it's a smart move. I mean, if anything, I think with Chicago, you have a quarterback, I would trade down, pick up some more picks in the first round and the second round, bro. That team need more players, man. I would trade out. You don't need a quarterback. It is a good defensive lineman. I forgot what team he's coming out. If you want to take him, I got you. That's cool. But I would come down, grab me like 3 or 4 more picks, and then go to work. Put some players around him, put some around him. But if you're trading him for another quarterback, that quarterback's got to come in. He's got to learn. He's going to be, bro, it makes no sense. It just makes no sense. But again, Chicago does this, bro. They will trade up. They listen to, I don't know who does this scouting. I have no idea, bro. There's some teams that scout very well. The Bears is not one of them. They're just not one. They, for whatever reason, they haven't been one for a long time. So it would not surprise me.
Yeah, they haven't scouted well since Buckus and Peyton. So, I don't. I've been hearing that a lot here, and I think it's just an idiot move to even consider trading Fields. And I remember when they got the pick, I was reading something on social media. And one of the Bears fans like, we can't even lose right. We're getting the number 1 pick. We shouldn't have the number 1 pick. And I agree, they should trade that pick, get them some offensive linemen, get them receivers, get them some defensive stoppers, because that's what you really need. But to trade Fields to get more stuff, you have a quarterback. You have a quarterback. Because one of the knocks is that, oh, he's not a passing quarterback. Yes, he is. You just haven't created a passing offense to put him in. You don't have receivers, and you don't have an offensive line to protect him so he can pass in that offense. So I think it would be stupid, but I wouldn't put it past Chicago to do this, because this is, like I said, like Black said, we were on the air when they traded up to get Trubisky. And can you hear me now, Pittsburgh Steelers? Why'd you even pick Trubisky? Why are you paying him that money? But they traded up to get Trubisky. This is a franchise that they really don't do well in the draft. They don't really, I don't know who's working for them. Hire me. I'll help you do it. I'll help you do it. But they just don't really kind of look at talent the way the rest of the league looks at. And it usually ends up with egg on their face. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't put it past them, Ice, that they trade Fields. And you know what? I would think Fields would be happy with a trade to get out of Chicago, because he didn't want to be here in the first place. Ice?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. When we watched the draft, and I said, look at his face. He's like, look at this up. These motherfuckers. He was at his house and he was like, you happy? Yay! I'm like, some bullshit. Anyway, but he went and he competed. Mm-hmm. So he competed when you did everything you could to sabotage that team. You traded away all the defense. You still don't have a wide receiver. I heard about Claypool, but I mean, what? He hasn't really stepped up like they wanted him to. And he's been running for his life since he got there. He's still running. And that season over, he's still running. He's looking around like, is that somebody after me?
Waking up having nightmares.
Yeah, he like this. He's like, damn, let me get the hell out of Chicago while I can and go on vacation. But he's still scared to death. But be smart. And I know that's hard for y'all to do out there. Be smart because you have two teams that are desperate. One of the teams is the second choice is Houston. Houston has the second pick. They will do anything to move up to get that number one pick because they think they know what they want. They want the quarterback. They want Bryce Young out of Alabama. So they would do anything, but more so than that team, a team that's really desperate. And the general manager has already said it. Number 4, the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
They say they will give anything to get that number one pick. And when they say that, that means you got a lot of leverage. In Chicago, we already know this. We know you're going to pick up some defensive players because you gave away all your damn defensive players, right? You gave them all away. You also need a wide receiver now, a real wide receiver. There's a lot of little folks over there. So you need to work this out, but you got to give Phil some help. But here's the caveat on this whole thing. Think about it this way. If you trade the number one pick to Indianapolis, you can drop down just to 4, only 3 spots, right? You can drop to 4. They also have an additional pick, I think, that you can get from them in the first round and a couple more picks. So you can do a lot. And you might be able to get a player or two. I don't know who you want over there, but you might get somebody over there that might be able to help you out. Anybody as a receiver, if they can catch a ball, you need them over there. So my point of it is you're going to trade Justin Fields, which I think is idiotic because the man, when nobody else was playing, he made you relevant, at least to the point where you could watch him and cheer for him and made you win a few games. Nobody else is doing that. As much as I like Bryce Young, if you put him out there, is he going to be able to do that? Justin Fields told you he's a winner. He's going to try to do everything he can. Y'all did everything y'all could in the draft to put that man down right out the point that he got epilepsy. Oh my God, he's trash. That's why nobody wanted to pick him up. That's why he fell down in the draft. Dude's like, I've been having epilepsy since I was 13. The hell y'all talking about? They ain't never stopped me now. All of a sudden I got epilepsy. Oh shit, I can't play. What? He said, look, y'all didn't know I had this since 13, right? I've been balling. So I think he's a warrior. I think he's tough. I think he can help this team win. But I don't know why you would do it. I mean, Bryce Young might be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but I know that he might be that. But I'll say this: I know who's a tough dog. He's a dog in the general. It's been there when it's been tough. It's been definitely Mr. Fields.
Black, your question.
The NFL always give you a preview of things that possibly could come. Years ago, if you remember when they did Yahoo on a Sunday, they would stream a free game on Yahoo for free. And it was like, wow, what are they doing it on Yahoo? Look at Amazon now. And they just basically sold the NFL, the Sunday League to Google, Yahoo TV for the most part. And then I remember about a week ago, and I didn't really kind of zero into this, but the NFL came out and said, if this team does this, we're going to flip a coin and play the championship game at a neutral spot. I'm here to tell you, and I believe that you're going to start to see in the AFC and NFC that they're going to take away that bye and it's going to get to the point where the semi-championship game for the Super Bowl, they're going to put that in different towns and party it up. Now, let's just say Kansas City has to go play, and I'm just going to say Tampa Bay. Now, Kansas City playing Buffalo, you're going to have no longer Kansas City at that home field advantage. All Kansas City fans, you're going to make people travel from Kansas City and Buffalo to go play at a neutral site. Not to mention the town. It's going to turn into, in my opinion, a miniature Super Bowl weekend. What do you think?
Ice?
Yeah, that's a strong possibility. But those fans and that the teams love that home field advantage, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see maybe the early parts of them, maybe the early rounds, yeah. But when you get to the point of the championship level, right, that NFC championship game, AFC championship game, part of the reason why people lose their minds is because, oh, that was in Buffalo. And it makes for, even to me, a better story. So you see Kansas City go to Buffalo and they're the number one seed and they beat them. But you're on the neutral site, you're like, all right, yeah, we kicking it. well, it's almost like the Pro Bowl in a way. It's like, you know what I'm saying? We just kicking it in a neutral site. I like the home field advantage. I don't know how far they'll go with that, but I can see what you're saying. I think they might do it in the earlier rounds. That's just me.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Those fans are gonna be screaming foul on this. But what's the sense of teams playing during the regular season to obtain home field advantage if they can't play at home? Because that's that's why they try to play and get seeded so they can play at home. So if the NFL does this, you're gonna see a lot of teams upset with this. You're gonna see a lot of fans. I'd be upset because it's like, what are we playing for if we can't play at home and we get this great record and we can't, the championship doesn't come through us. So I can see teams complaining, owners complaining. I can see a lot of people complaining about, on a neutral field that you get to play a championship. You're gonna make fans that are loyal to you. You're gonna make Green Bay fans, if they were in the playoffs, go all the way to Tampa Bay.
Sure, baby.
Or Kansas City fans to go all the way to Los Angeles. I don't know. I mean, you have some diehard fans, but I think you had some pissed off fans. But Black, make your point, man.
I'm gonna say this right now. Did the NFL give a damn about the LA Raiders fans?
No, not really.
Raiders fans? They didn't care, bro.
They got an in for the Raider fans anyway because of Al Davis.
But they didn't care. I'm gonna give you another thing. Even beyond the fans. Remember the NFL said, we want to play a 17, 18 game. Fans, nah, we ain't doing that. We're going to get hurt. How many games they playing now? How many games? I mean, when the NFL wants something, they don't care, bro. They get it done. But I'm telling you, it's going to be like, if it happens, it's like miniature Super Bowl weekends. And here's what you could do even better than that. And this is just my idea. You take it off when you bring it to neutral sites. Guess what? You play Saturday and Sunday. You don't put both games on one day. You go Saturday night, Sunday night. Bro, I'm sorry, man. To me, they're marketing genius and they're always thinking ahead. They're doing this neutral game stuff for a reason. You can't tell me they basically, what happened when Buffalo and Cincinnati out of that? Well, no. This was in their heads a while ago, but they're just basically using this as a time to kind of bring it out. As far as Karen, let's keep in mind, man, when there was a young man on the field having his chest compressed and pumped, now they're trying to run around and say they didn't. I saw Roger Goodell on TV Sunday. Roger Goodell, I've never seen Roger Goodell so solemn, so didn't want to talk. It was kind of like scared. And Troy Vincent saying he never said, get the teams warm up and go back. He said, bro, you had the chief lady there saying, yes, they're all now trying to get the egg off their face because you look like idiots when you basically told them warm up for 5 minutes and play. Now they're saying, who told Joe Buck that? Buck like, I didn't make this about thin air. He's saying this didn't come out of my head. There's like, I don't know what. That's what that felt, because they don't care, bro. They don't care. So keep that in mind when it sounds like, oh, the Kansas City fans, bro. There's many. You got Delta, you got American, all these airlines. Buy yourself a ticket, because if you don't, other fans will. It's just that simple. And they know it, man. Yeah. They know it. Oh, please. Remember years ago, there was like no gambling allowed. They're in Vegas now. They own FanDuel and these other companies. Own them.
And I also want to thank you for that post where it exposed the NFL wanted to continue the game, but the teams wanted to cancel the game. Yeah. So when it first happened, Black, you text me like the NFL doesn't care.
Yes.
And man, when you text me that, I'm like, I heard the 5 minutes and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a guy that's basically died on the field. You mean to tell me you're going to continue a game after that? And so it's just kind of, they kind of market it like they're caring and they care about culture and all this other stuff, but they just don't. The game must continue. Last second shot, Ice.
Yeah, just want to say thank you guys for another tough season. It was always good, man. And it comes down to the wire, boy. Woo! But you know what? Hey, I thought about putting the robe on, but I was like, you know what? Same result, different ceremony. That's what we do, baby. So that's what we do. But the NFL, we already talked about them not caring. We already talked about the Rooney Rule kind of being non-existent to this point. But general managers and owners, and particularly fans, think about it this way. Your team, whatever your team may be, with the 5 openings, have tried all kind of different ways, bringing on all kind of different people, and it has not worked. You're in the basement, you're struggling, you're trying to figure out something. You keep bringing in these retreads, bringing in people that nobody heard of, or other people just like, I don't want to be here no more after 2 weeks or whatever. I can't stand this. How about not taking a chance on somebody else that has never had an opportunity, right? Somebody that's trying something different. What else do you have to lose? You've already sucked for a while, right? You know what I'm saying? You might as well do something different. It's 2023. Not, take a chance on the Steve Wilkes that has shown you that he's capable of doing some things and a great leader of men, getting guys fired up. You got Sam Donald, as you mentioned, couldn't throw 60 yards for the whole damn game, and they still won on a 47-yard field goal. Kudos to them. What about him? What about Eric Bieniemy? You may not be the greatest communicator or whatever, but you surround him with the right people. I think he can help lead some people. Again, we want to talk about Byron Leftwich. I mean, what? You bring in Tom Brady? You just didn't bring anybody to let him talk to Tom Brady. He and Tom Brady are good chums and good friends because Tom Brady respects him. Leftwich played the game. He's been on the field. You know what it's like to be in that situation. When you look back when he was in Jacksonville, when they were winning football games, he deserves a shot. I'm just saying, how much more does it take? Throw the colors out the way, okay? If you don't want to, we're only going to say, well, we need to have more black coaches. No, we need to have more quality damn coaches. I just named you 3 people that are quality guys. It's time for them to get an opportunity. Or y'all can just keep losing, man. For real. I mean, you want to just keep being the doorman of, okay, well, here we go again next year. After a while, fans, stop going to the damn games. Last but not least, going to throw one little thing at you. I know a little hip-hop heads out there. I'm old school, so I go way back in the day. But if you want to listen to a brother that really puts it down and has been doing it for a while, his name is Black Thought with the Roots, bro. On when they do the show as well, and he's fire. He is absolutely fire. Old school, new school. The dude is so damn talented. I don't throw them nuggets out. I ain't saying nothing about no funk, but this dude is amazing.
Yeah, underrated out of Philly. Black?
Last week I said in a semi-rant that we that look like us, when you're on television, do not be afraid to step up and say something. Don't feel like because they're paying you, you just have to kind of toe the company line. Well, Michael Strahan, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, came out basically. He didn't call Skip Bayless up by name, but he said to Fox, for the most part, you didn't come talk to us. Everyone understand and ask us what we felt. So don't go acting like nobody had a problem, because there's people at Fox that did have a problem with it. But more to the point, Mike, I love you saying it, bro. Stepping out and saying it, because so many times, man, when we get in those positions, we lose who we are. We don't want to open our mouths. You feel like we want to lose the job. No, bro. Give them they're going to fire you. Give them a reason to fire you. Do not be afraid. When you walk through the door as a man, walk out the door as a man. So, Mike, bro, I've always been a big fan. I'm a fan of you even more because it needed to be said. This cat has said some things that should not be said, and people basically kind of look the other way. He's not God, bro. He puts his pants on like the rest of we do. Never fear another man. Learning from Mama Ali, I'm not afraid of anyone. Anyone. Same thing Martin Luther King Jr. said. I don't fear, man. I don't. Stop fearing these networks, bro. They're not your life.
I did my last second shot on Dana White. I'm going to do another one on Dana White. He was on TV. ESPN finally had the nerve to show him talk about how he was regretful for the incident, but saying, hey, what should my punishment be? What should my punishment be? Because if you punish me, you punish all the workers and the fighters and all that stuff. Dude, you don't own the UFC anymore. You're just the president. You have a job there. And as president, you can be replaced. That should be your punishment. That's our last second shot. We'll catch you next week.